So, the incredible shrinking AGM separator was first introduced at Intellect 1995. The Hague. What has the AGM separator OEMs done to improve their products to help batteries last longer?
Okay, and I think they called it the incredible shrinking separator because it was drying out. And when it dries out, it does shrink, And when you put fluid in it, it expands. As Dan mentioned earlier, it expands, so there's contact. Because if you got your plates like that, where they're not touching, that's exaggeration. And now you've got portions of those plates you weren't using, couldn't use. I'm sure the separator manufacturers have made improvements just as all the battery manufacturers have in their mixes and their formulas, etc. Everybody tries to make it better and better. If a battery off gases, the separator has to shrink. And we can later on, I can show you the little expanding sponge.
Absolutely.
How a sponge expands. It's not exactly the same, but it's the same concept. When it dries out, it shrinks. It's the only word you can think of. And when it's saturated, it expands. So that's the incredible shrinking separator is just what it does. It when it dries out, it has less volume.
Okay.
Well, and another thing I think the industry did that was the battery manufacturers did that was good for the industry as a whole was they put some effort into educating their customers. Because quite honestly, when AGM batteries first came out, we and the telephone companies didn't know a heck of a lot about them, and so some of the mistakes were ours, and we just didn't know it because of any number of things going on, temperature kinds of things, or premature failures. Because let's say when a battery is being installed in a cell site, cell sites typically have gravel around the buildings, which keeps weeds and stuff down. But people would come and unpack jars from the unpacked batteries and then just set them down on the gravel and get point contact fractures in the plastic, which would eventually lead to leaks and things like that. Or overcharged them or undercharged them. And so people who knew a lot about flooded batteries, or nowadays they're called vented batteries, looked at this and tried to treat it the same way, except they bought into the marketing phrase that these were maintenance free. And they're not maintenance free.
Right.
Clearly.
They never were maintenance free. No battery is.
Correct.
It's like saying a car is maintenance free. Well, if you don't do any maintenance on your car, it's going to have a short life, and that's what happened here.
Yeah.
So there were improvements to the product, there were improvements to the training regarding the care and feeding of these things. So
Good point.
Okay.
One thing also on that, with vented batteries, everybody equalized. You had to if you had antimony,
Right.
you had to equalize all the time. With calcium, the marketing people tried to say you didn't need to equalize, you still did. A lot of people with these would put them on equalize and maybe forget about it. With a vented battery, if you happen to walk through, you'd see the electrolyte level going down. Well, here you wouldn't see it until it got real hot, when the thermal runaway. Then being honest as you were, you'd put it back on float, call your manager and say, geez, we got something it was fine yesterday.
you know what we did? We changed our spec and told the people who were installing our plants, when they set up the various thresholds in the controllers, we made float and equalize the exact same voltage. So some button pusher come along and said, let me boost these things.
Yep, exactly.
It
happens.
didn't hurt anything.
Yeah. But there is times, though, when they still do need equalizers.
But that would be a qualified
That's right,
technician
qualified
who knew what he
time.
or she were
Yep,
doing.
it wasn't just an accident that
Taken
happened.
off the
Yeah,
cuff,
it
just
wasn't
do it.
just somebody with a screwdriver.
Right, exactly. Yep, they had to work at it.
Okay.